We're on the next border, which we're calling the card trick. This one has a wonderful cheat to it. You're going to make it as big as you need to make it, and you're going to chop it off to the right measurement. This was done a lot with antique medallion quilts. They didn't have the fine tools that we have, the rotary cutters and the really precise measuring rulers, and so frequently in antique medallions you'll see borders that just seem to be lopped off strangely. Actually, you'll even see it in plain blocked borders. I have an antique log cabin that has the strangest final logs because they got to the end, put a piece of cardboard on top, and cut off the size they needed. So to make this, we're back to quarter square triangles. Again, we're cutting quarter squares so we can have the bias edge here and the straight edge on the outside, which is important. These are rectangles cut to a precise measurement, and you'll have that in your instructions. These are very easy to piece. You place the triangle against the top edge of the card shape, line up the right angles, and just so. And you're going to do it for all of these, and then you're going to sew the bottoms so that you have this shape. So each one of these is a top and a bottom, and it goes together like so. Line up the 45-degree angle, and so. Now leave the little dog noses or dog ears hanging out. Now there's one oddball measurement, and that's going to be these funny ends. And that's because you need this little piece hanging out on both ends in order to have enough to lop off. So I will put, we've now sewed these all together. I suppose I should show you how first. So let me make a few of these. Okay, I'm finger pressing against the background. And what's interesting about this is they line up in a rather peculiar way. They're offset like that. But I can tell you that if you just line them up so the noses, dog ears, whatever, crisscross at one end, and they crisscross at the other end, like so. It'll be just perfect. You can tell I don't get into crazy precision stitching, but I do get into crazy precision cutting and sewing. So trust me, this is going to work. If you have any misgivings, draw your seam lines, line it up with pins, and until you get really comfortable, draw all the seam lines, and you'll eventually develop an eye for how to do this without drawing. And it opens up beautifully, straight across here and straight across here. And you've got two pieces together, and you're going to continue that way. The end pieces are the oddballs. And what you do on the end piece, and you can see it here, is you sew a funny little piece and on the top a funny little piece that kind of goes nowhere. You see that? It goes nowhere, but that's okay. You just need it hanging in there to have something to lop off. So you get the two noses kind of lined up and sew it on. Don't get too fussy, it's going to be cut off. And so that's what the end's going to look like. So you've got the whole border sewed together with these funny ends here and here. And do press it now. Take it to the ironing board, press it flat. And this is when our big ruler takes over. Before adding the ends, you need to cut this down to 18.5 inches. So you move your ruler, and here's the 18.5, around till, oh, it looks kind of even on both ends. And I've done that. And mark it with a chalk line. And again, at 18.5, and a chalk line here. And then cut it off. You could rotary cut this as well. I just like using my case facet scissors. And when you've cut those off, you're going to sew the end pieces on, and you're going to make 4 of these end pieces on 2 of them, and you're done with the card trick. Next border.